Yo guys, welcome to the Zelda fiction. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got banished and becomes the king of the West? Part 2. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Somewhere is in the West. So Naruto, how was your trip back east? Merlin asked as they traveled the land in search of members. For the most part great. However. Flashback. During Naruto's little vacation back in the Elemental Nation, it wasn't all pleasant. It was a simple visit to all his friends and helping people out on the way. It suddenly turns into a manhunt on him and his friends. It was the right call to wear a full-body knight armor during his reunion trip. However, it made him an easy target to identify. Not only did the Leaf Village hunted them down to kidnap them, there were some other groups that were interested in them. Well, look at what we have here. A voice came to the trio in the campsite. Naruto, Arturia and Rin drew their weapons and prepared to fight who walk up to them. It turned out to be a pair wearing black cloak with red clouds and their signature hat. What does the Akatsuki want with 3 random people? Naruto asked the leading one. We came here to recruit you 3. Seeing how you easily defeated our own leader Sama hoped that you would join. The leading one said. The pair pulled off their hat to reveal themselves. Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki. Rin said as she recognized them from the bingo book she grabbed from one of the dead leaf hunter nin. We have no intention to join your organization. Arturia said as she ready Caliburn. Too bad. Kisame said with a mad grin. That mean we will take you forcefully. He said as he charged with Samehada. Don't kill them Kisame. Itachi ordered as he continued to stare down the man with the armor. Back up Arturia if she needs it, Rin. I will handle this one. Naruto said. Rin nodded to his command. Arturia easily blocked Kisame's attack. You are pretty strong for a girl. Kisame said with his mad grin. This only made Arturia mad. She began to push back the monster of the mist. Don't think that a woman can't defeat a man. She shouted as she pushed back Kisame. Kisame noticed a cut on his cheek. Haha. Looks like I did underestimate you. Next time, I won't let it happen again. Kisame went in for another strike. Caliburn began to glow with prana for the strike. As soon as their blade made contact, Samehada tried to shred it. What is going on? My Samehada should eat the chakra coming off the blade and break it, said a confused Kisame. The trio only smirked at his statement. Itachi picked up on that smirk. It's not chakra. How can your sword beat mine if it can only eat chakra? She once again overpowered Samehada. Then she charged him with a slash ready. Kisame barely dodged. That is. Water style. Exploding water colliding wave. Kisame shouted as he went through some hand signs. Then a large wave of water approached to slam into her. Caliburn. Arturia shouted to her sword. Right. Caliburn said as she prepared more prana for her next attack. Itachi and Kisame were surprised to hear her blade talk. She stabbed Caliburn to the ground. Caliburn released the prana stored up and released it underground. It caved in the floor right in front of her, creating a large enough crater for Kisame's jutsu to fill up, sparing her the disadvantage of fighting on water. She was a normal human, but a hell of a lot stronger than the one in the east. She can't do any special tricks, but she can handle a lot more than ninja and civilian alike. This will take too long. Itachi then went through some hand signs himself to aid his partner. Fire-style Phoenix Age fire multiple fireballs went for Arturia. Then suddenly several weapons came out of gold ripples behind Naruto and destroyed them. Arturia gave him a nod of gratitude and went on to continue to attack Kisame. Rin just stayed back and watched. This is their fight. Don't interfere. Naruto said while crossing his arm and looked intimidating toward Itachi. There were dozens of gold ripples behind Naruto, ready to be released and strike Itachi. Is there any way to convince you to join the Akatsuki, King? Itachi asked once again to King. No, he replied. So be it. Fire style. Phoenix Age flower nail crimson Itachi said as he threw some shurikens at him and coated them with fire. Naruto only fired his noble phantasm at them with great precision. He destroyed all of them. Naruto then charged at Itachi with Excalibur. He was aiming for his head. Passed. I can't dodge this or substitute myself in time. Itachi thought as he prepared his triumph card. Red rib cage began to appear all around them. Excalibur couldn't cut through the ribs made of chakra. Master, be careful. This technique is very powerful. Excalibur warned her master. He only jumped back and examined Susanoo. This is Susanoo. The Uchiha's ultimate defense and power. Itachi said as his Susanoo grew skin. Interesting. Naruto said as he drew a weapon from the gate. It was Kaladbulg. The rainbow sword. I wonder if the Uchiha's ultimate defense can withstand 2 legendary weapons. Itachi narrowed his eyes at the 2 swords in his hand. He didn't recognize those blades to be any legendary weapons. So he guessed they were weapons lost to time. He is half correct. There are weapons in the gate that were lost, but there are some that people came into possession. The gate pulls the weapon out of time and space in the past, so he can use them without any repercussions to the weapons that are still around in the present. Be them charge at the humanoid jutsu while gathering as much prana into his blades. Take this. He slash Itachi with both blades full of prana. Only to break the jutsu into a bone stage. Not good. That was too much power to take on. Itachi thought as he beepies the situation. Kiss him. He shouted to gather his partner's attention. Kisum was surprised to see him pull out Susanoo and see it in that state. Kisum struggled in their spars to get it in that state. Naruto did it without any problem. We won't win this. Retreat. Itachi then turn into a flock of crows and disappear. Go ahead and leave. I have seen enough that I'm strong enough to hold my ground to one of the best in this nation. Arturia said. Kisum picked up onto this nation. People would say country or village. She said nation, as in elemental nation. This was something he need to bring up later with his partner. End of flashback. So the Akatsuki are interested in recruiting you three. At least we know that they aren't much to deal with. Merlin replied to his story. True, but they were annoying. We ran into the zombie duo, Haiden and Kakuzu. They were kidnapping the two-tailed Jinchuriki. We stopped them, but we ran into them more often. They tried to kill us or recruit us. However, the Leaf was persistent in their attempt to kidnap us. He said tiredly. How so? She asked. Flashback. Damn it. Minato slammed his fist onto his desk. How can they defeat all the hunter ninja I sent? He yelled in frustration. Minato calmed down. We knew that they were powerful to take on the Akatsuki on their own. You can't expect that we can kidnap them so easily. Jiraiya told his student. It has been several weeks since he falsified the records of one Saber, one Rin, and one Arturia into the Hidden Leaf records. All attempt to kidnap them for their power they have. Many hunters died in their attempt to capture them. All were sent back to the front of the gate of the Leaf in bodies bags. Shocking many civilian and ninjas. Even, Jiraiya's spies began to disappear when searching for information on them. He concluded that they were killed. I can't keep searching for them. Whoever those three are, they are killing too many ninjas and my spies. We will need all of them against the Akatsuki and Orochimaru in the future. Jiraiya told Minato with a frown. He can't support his student's decision to continue to hunt for three unknowns. Not with causality count rising. Fine then. Jiraiya, as Hokage, I order you to gather a team and track and capture those three. Minato ordered. Fine, but I'm telling you. It won't end well. Jiraiya responded. The Orosanin for God's sake. That should be enough to take them down. Damn it Minato. They took down members of the Akatsuki. Only one easily overwhelmed two members at the same time. It's safe to assume that the other two can do the same. Doing this will get more killed. I may be a Sannin, but there are limits. Jiraiya yelled at him. Tired with the many attempts that ended in failure. It was too much like Orochimaru and Cloud Village. He didn't like how the village is being run now. You have your orders. Minato said with authority. Jiraiya left through the door and went to go gather a team for a suicide mission. Minato, are you sure this is the right choice? Kushina asked as she came from behind Minato. Are you doubting me now? He asked Kushina as he narrowed his eyes at her. No, but nothing. This is all for the Leaf. He said to end the conversation. The main excuse he told himself and to everyone else. She only left and went back home to check on Mito. Jiraiya gathered the best of the Leaf to capture the trio. On the team were Kakashi, Guy, Kurenai, and Asuma. They were the best in their field of expertise and the best the Leaf had to offer. He briefed them on the mission. Asuma and Kurenai didn't recognize the name of the supposed rogue Leaf ninja. Kakashi and Guy only frowned hearing who their target was. I went on about how unyouthful this mission was. They managed to track them down close to Lighting Country. The trio finish up business with the rescue of the two-tailed Jinchuriki. The retrieval team were waiting for them to get a good distance away from the border so they don't draw the attention of any cloud ninja. Then they jump in front of the trio. Hold up right there. By order of the Hokage, you are to be returned to the Leaf. Rin, Arturia, and Saber. Jiraiya said. To sound as if they were there to retrieve rogue Leaf ninjas. They are still on it? Arturia asked out loud. They don't even know our full names. Rin said. I bet they don't even know that Saber is just a name I made up. Naruto said out loud. Their comments confused Asuma and Kurenai because they were still left out on the truth. They looked at their supposed traitorous comrades and didn't recognize them, but they had orders to capture them. Rin, Arturia. I will deal with the guy with big white hair. You guys will deal with rest. Getting a nod from his friends. Naruto versus Jiraiya. Why won't you guys leave us alone? We did absolutely nothing against your village. Naruto asked. Sorry, Saber, but you guys are too powerful to be left alone. The Leaf needs your power. Jiraiya responded. You don't even know my names or who we really are. Then you decided to put us in your bingo book as rogue ninja from your village. That is just sad. Naruto said well he wanted summon his gate and prepared a lot of noble phantasm. Jiraiya flinched at his comment. He always thought that the leaf is the best and didn't need to do anything pathetic. He thought they were above the world. Now he is living his nightmare, the leaf village in a desperation situation. Just surrender. Jiraiya ordered. Then a dozen of noble phantasm shot out toward Jiraiya. Jiraiya didn't get out unscathed. He lost his right arm immediately from the barrage of powerful weapons. I'm tired of your village. You believe to be gods, but you're far from it. The closest one to God is me. I'm the once and future king. Naruto announced. Even in pain, Jiraiya paid attention to what he said. Once and future king. What is that supposed to mean? Jiraiya thought as he would investigate it later. Give up. I already took away your arm. You won't be able to perform any of your powerful jutsu without both arms. You're just so weak. He taunted him. He charged at him with a Rasengan. Only to have Naruto use Excalibur to block the attack with ease. This is boring. You are no longer capable of fighting me where many have failed. Naruto said coldly and kicked Jiraiya away into a wall. Putting him out of the fight. That man is ruthless. Jiraiya thought as he fell unconscious. Arturia and Rin versus Asuma and Kakashi and Guy and Kurenai. Surrender. We have you outnumbered. Asuma shouted at the pair of girls. True, but Rin said, until Arturia continued. We have you outmatched. We each fought members of the Akatsuki single-handedly. Can you say the same? Arturia said with a smirk. Making all of them flinch. They knew that all of the members were powerful and they couldn't take them on solo. Hearing that they could, drop their morale. It doesn't matter, we will capture all of you, Kakashi responded. Hey Arturia. Since this isn't a fair fight, you may want to drop the code of chivalry for now. Rin said as she pulled out multiple jewels. Only this once. Arturia said while drawing Caliburn. I will take the one in green and the one with one eye. They are close-quarter combatants. They may prove to be as strong as Kisame. Shame that we didn't finish our fight. This new piece of information surprised the Leaf Ninjas. Kisame is easily one of the best fighter of the Akatsuki. She then went to face her opponents. Arturia versus Kakashi and Guy. I hope that you two will be better than Kisame. He may be powerful, but my sword skills far surpass his. Arturia said as she prepared herself to fight the duo. We can't take any chances. Kakashi said then activated the Manjikam Sharingan. Alright, gate of opening. Guy said as chakra started to rush out of his body. Caliburn, any advice? She asked her blade. I will prepare for countermeasures. Just be ready to react. Caliburn said as she prepared to perform some magic. Arturia couldn't use prana, so she depends on Caliburn herself to perform any magical attack. I rush in for a kick. Only to have Arturia instinct take over and dodge it. She then turn around to take a slash at him. Her reaction speed is so fast. Guy thought as she watched her move faster to counter his attack. Kakashi jumped in between them to block her strike with a kunai. He could have attacked her, but he didn't want to risk losing his friend. The two jump back after countering her. Kakashi, she moves fast. We won't be able to take her on without taking some hits. Guy told Kakashi. Alright. Just keep pressing her and I will look for an opening. Kakashi said. Gate of healing. Gate of life. Guy shouted and charged right back in. I went in with a barrage of attacks. Arturia was only able to block them. Then Guy jumped above her. Arturia noticed that Kakashi sent a fireball at her. She struck the ball with enough prana to divide the ball in half to avoid her. Guy went in to attack her from behind. It knocked her away, but her armor took most of the damage. This man hits hard. She thought as she felt the pain to her back from the kick. Are you ready, Caliburn? She asked. She was beginning to get worried about the fight. She didn't think she can take both on at once. Just strike the ugly-looking one. It will take away his power. This technique is linked to his life. I can disturb it. Caliburn said as she began to glow a golden color. She went in to attack Kakashi instead due to Guy being faster than her. Arturia went in with many slashes to keep Kakashi in CQB. Then Guy went up to attack her from behind. She was prepared this time. She placed the edge on her back to cut block his attack. Guy was going too fast to stop himself. His leg was cut by the blade. Then he suddenly started to cough up blood as the gates that were open were forcefully closed. Kakashi shouted in fear for his partner. What did you do? He said threateningly toward Arturia. I force him to close all the points in his body. Resulting in his body destroying itself from the chakra circulating throughout his body. With all the chakra circulation and the points closed, he's dying. Caliburn answered. You can leave your partner to die or leave and save his life. Damn it. I need to capture them, but Kakashi thought. Those that abandon their mission are scum. Those that abandon their teammates are worse than scum. Kakashi heard his own statement and thought about his father again. Guy's life is more important. Kakashi went over to grab Guy and left the battlefield to get him help. Damn it. Why didn't we bring a medic? He thought in frustration. The reason was there weren't any ninja medic that would be useful. Shizune and Tsunade were the one capable of fighting and healing, but they left. Rin versus Asuma and Kurenai. Do you really believe that you can capture us? Rin asked them as blue lines started to form both her legs and arm. Even if you beat an Akatsuki member, you are still outnumbered. Kurenai told her. She went through some hand signs to cast a genjutsu on her. You do know that each member of the Akatsuki are capable of taking down squads of elite ninjas. Rin replied. What the hell is going on? You should be in my genjutsu. Kurenai shouted as she saw that she wasn't affected by her jutsu. Genjutsu work on people that have a chakra network to mess with. Rin replied. Shocking both Leaf Ninja. To hear that she doesn't have a chakra network is unbelievable. In their mind, you need chakra to be powerful. Rin charged right at Kurenai with a powerful punch. She was sent flying away. Kurenai. Asuma shouted as he witnessed his wife flying away like a bug being swatted. You shouldn't take your eyes off your opponent. She whispered to Asuma when punching him. Asuma was able to block it with his right arm. Damn it. Her punches are as hard as Tsunade-sama. Asuma said mentally. The punch left him with a broken left arm. Come on. Even with the Akatsuki, they managed to not take any damage in the first minute. Rin shouted to Asuma disappointedly. Asuma channeled wind chakra into his trench knife. He went to cut her. However, she threw one of her jewels at Asuma and it exploded, forcing Asuma back with several burns. I can and will kill you if you continue. Don't you have someone back home to go to? She asked Asuma to give him a chance to leave. Kurenai. Konohamaru. Asuma thought as he did have people to live for. I want to have a son too. But those thought, he went over to pick up Kurenai who wasn't looking too well. He grabbed her and left. He didn't want to lose Kurenai and he knew that trying to capture any of the three will get them killed. You had it easy, Rin. Arturia told her as she approached her. My fight was a little tougher, but nothing I can't handle. Did they run away too? Rin asked. Yeah, they did. It at least care enough to save their comrades. Arturia said with a smile. She was a knight at heart and value those that fight along with her. They were too easy. Naruto said as he came out of the bush. The legendary Toad Sage my ass. Just one wave of noble phantasm and he went down. Several days has passed and the Leaf squad managed to get back home. Jiraiya, Kurenai and Guy went into intensive care. A missing arm with a lot of blood lost wasn't good. Guy chakra network was damaged severely, but he was able to recover with time, a lot of time. Kurenai suffered from multiple broken bones and internal bleeding. All were able to recover, except for Jiraiya's arm. Minato, we have a problem. Jiraiya told Minato from outside of the window. It has been a month since he got out of the intensive care unit. He went to check on his spies and look for Tsunade. He thought the worst when Naruto mentioned her and he needed her to get her a new arm. To only find out that she disappeared. What is it? Minato asked as he stopped working on the paperwork. I checked with my spies, they lost the three and too many died searching for them. They refused to look for them anymore. Making Minato frown. Worst, Tsunade and Shizune disappeared. He said with a frown. What? During my fight with King, he mentioned Tsunade. I went to check on her after I got out and she is missing. My spies couldn't find anything on them. I'm afraid that they left or were captured. This isn't good. We can't lose another Sannin. Not to these three unknown. I think she left. I check and she took both the scroll of seals and all the Uzumaki scrolls. Damn it. Minato shouted in anger. He was okay with her leaving if she was still close to the village. Now she left the country with the least secrets. End of flashback. Well, they sound like they won't be a problem in the future. They will be able to easily dealt with if they act up. Merlin said to his story. Yeah? Who are we going to look for first? Naruto asked Merlin. We are looking for the leader of the 10 commandments from the demon race. Merlin said seriously. Surprising Naruto that they would go for one of the strongest in the West. Relax. There have been some issues with him and this race. I think this would be the best chance to get someone strong on our side. Besides, he might be the new leader of the 7 deadly sins. Somewhere in the West in Demon Country. I still say that this is a very bad idea. Naruto shouted in protest. Stop crying about it, Naruto. Merlin replied. All the demons we ran into attacked me. You stood there and watch. He pointed at Merlin angrily. Hey, I got you a new outfit at least. I could have left you in that damage armor, but I'm kind enough to get you something new. Plus, it matches your girlfriend's armor. She said with a clap. During the search in demon territory, they were constantly attacked by demons of all kind. They were relentless in their attack. The knight's armor that Naruto once wore became damaged and wouldn't be able to protect him properly. Merlin designed a blue armor outfit for him. The design are similar to Arturia's armor. And Fate Extra Saber. Gawaine's armor. Fine. I'll stop bitching about it. Where is this guy? Meliodas. His name is Meliodas and he is someone you shouldn't underestimate. He was personally chosen to lead the 10 Commandments and he's the eldest son of the Demon King. Merlin answered. Why are we looking for a guy like that? He asked fearfully. Because things has changed. Since the death of the Demon King, he hasn't been the same. He started to change. Recently he left the 10 Commandments. He has leadership skill and great power. A good potential for the Sin of Wrath. The Sin of Wrath stands as the leader of the 7 deadly sins. Okay, but how do we find him? Naruto asked once again. Why not look behind you? An unknown voice suggested. Naruto immediately drew Excalibur and turned around. Merlin was still relaxed and wasn't worried. She slowly turned around instead of quickly. Only to find a kid with messy blonde hair and emerald green eyes. Who are you, kid? Naruto asked as he put away Excalibur. Not believing that a child was a threat. Besides that, Excalibur hasn't said anything about him. She would warn him if there was danger near like the attacks before. Who am I? Who are you? The blonde kid asked. Oh. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Naruto. This is Merlin. He pointed to Merlin. She didn't look surprised seeing the child. Oh, I know Merlin. I was wondering who are you? The child asked again. I already told you. I'm Naruto. He told the child again. He won't get it. Just introduce yourself before night times comes. Merlin said. Getting a confused look from Naruto. Okay then. The child answered Merlin. I'm Meliodas, former leader of the 10 Commandments. Nice to meet you. Meliodas said with a grin. Surprising Naruto. After a few minutes of shock from Naruto. I thought you would have been older. He deadpanned. Rude. I'm over 3,000 years old. Meliodas retorted. Making Naruto faint from the shocking piece of evidence. He fainted. Are you going to tell me who here really is Merlin? Meliodas asked Merlin after he finished poking Naruto with a stick. He is the one to pull the sword out of the sword. Merlin said with a sly smile. That sword he is carrying isn't Caliburn, he pointed out. It's true, Lord Meliodas. Caliburn was given to Master's lover. She dreamt of pulling Caliburn as a child. When Master received me from Lady Vivian, he had no need of carrying 2 holy swords. My name is Excalibur, the sword of promise victory, and my companion that protects me and Master as my sheath is Avalon. Excalibur answered. Avalon just started to glow as a sign of saying hi. Oh. Then that's okay. Why are you looking for me, Merlin? I want to recruit you to the 7 deadly sins. Why should I join? Naruto wants to unite the land. Uniting all races and find peace with everyone. I want his dream to come true, but he can't do it alone. He will need all the help he can get. He is too young and inexperienced in the West. He came from over the wall in the East. Surprising Meliodas. This is the first news about anything coming from the East. He didn't like how life was there and decided to come here. Even though he'd been here for more than 3 years, he made some friends. Several human friends including his lover and a ghoul. With the ghoul, he even offered her to take a bite off him to survive, which she rejected his offer. Surprising him even more. It was common for humans to kill ghouls right away due to avoid being eaten. Then to offer a ghoul a piece of you is dangerous. A ghoul could lose control from the taste and may eat him instead of taking a bite. The kid seems like he would make a good leader, but he needs work. I'm hoping you would teach him a thing or two and help rebuild the 7 deadly sins. Merlin finish. Let me test him first. Then we will see. Meliodas said. He definitely became intrigued by Naruto. Most people wouldn't think about doing half of the things he done. Merlin snapped her fingers and a puddle of water was splashed on Naruto's face. Ahhh. He screamed from the cold water and drew Excalibur and began swinging it like an idiot. He then looked at the 2 people staring at him. Ahem, what do you mean that you're over 3,000 years old? Naruto shouted as he pointed Excalibur at Meliodas. Meliodas just dashed in with a punch to the face, but he blocked it with Excalibur. Knocking Naruto back several feet away. What the hell? Just fight him, Naruto. This is a test for you. Merlin told him. Meliodas went in with another punch to the gut, but this time he landed his punch. Knocking him down. Fine. If you want to test me like that, then I will return the favor. Naruto shouted as he summoned several weapons from the gate of Babylon. He launched all of them at Meliodas. Meliodas pulled out his sword, Lost Vein. He easily blocked all of them. So wasteful. Naruto then charged at him while still summoning Noble Phantasm and firing them behind him. He carefully aimed them to not hit himself. That's better, but you could do better. Meliodas commented as he went into a deadlock with Naruto and used him as a shield against his gate. Meliodas easily overpower Naruto and push him back with a barrage of slashes. Naruto only managed to block half of the attacks. Good. You block all those that would have left a fatal wound. You have good battle instinct. However, is this all you can do? Naruto jumped back. Of course not. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto formed 7 clones. Each clone summoned a noble phantasm from the gate to use as Excalibur can't be replicated. Neat. I can do the same. Meliodas created a 7 clones of himself. The difference is that his sword, Lost Vein, was copied as well. Lost Vein gave Meliodas the ability to create physical copies of himself, unlike how Naruto uses ninjutsu to create clones. All clones charge at each other as the real ones attack each other. At the end of the quick battle royal, Meliodas' clones won. Damn it. It's not over yet. Naruto shouted as he pulled out Durandal from the gate and focused the holy energy of it and Excalibur together in a X shape. A bright orb started to form in between the 2 swords. Wolf whistle, that looks like it can do some damage. Meliodas commented. However, it won't be enough to beat me. He said with a smirk. Holy flash bang. Naruto pointed the swords at Meliodas and released the orb of holy energy. The technique came from the idea from Kurama's tailed beast bomb. Concentration of energy into a single point and build it up. Then releasing to land on the target and explode in a furious explosion. Naruto used holy energy instead of chakra prana. He could do it with either of those energy source, but holy energy is unique in its own way and is far more easier for Naruto to use. Considering that he holds many holy swords and is the one chosen by God herself. Full counter. Meliodas swung his sword at the right moment to make contact with the orb and sent it right back. Shit. Naruto thought as he closed his eyes to take his own attack. Only to feel nothing hit him. Naruto opened his eyes to see Merlin erupting a powerful barrier in front of him to block the attack. You did pretty well for a kid. Meliodas said as he walked to him after the barrier came down. The last attack looked very dangerous and could have killed me considering I am a demon. Naruto only looked sheepish and rubbed the back of his head while giving a weak laugh. Meliodas then turned to Merlin. Okay, I will join the sins. I will also give the kid a lesson of 2. A lesson? Naruto questioned him. You're good kid, but not good enough. You make a decent soldier, but a leader is something that you will need to learn. Who's better to train you in leadership than the one that was said to be the next demon king? Meliodas answered with a smirk. After giving it some thought. Fine. Deal, but what's up with the 180? I heard that you were once a merciless killer and greatly respected by all demons and other races. What happened to you? Naruto asked once again. During his years in the West, he learned a lot about the major players in the West. Meliodas was described as a ruthless killer. He would show absolutely no mercy to anyone he raced and had a great hatred for other races. Oh. Things happen. Meliodas said with his usual go-happy tone. Naruto figured he would not like to talk about it and should be happy that he is like this now. Nearly a year has passed since Meliodas has joined the 7 deadly sins and in Naruto's quest to unite the entire West continent. During the year, he trained Naruto in swordsmanship. Much to the disappointment of him. He wanted to learn some cool technique. Naruto didn't see the full potential of his power as the once and future king. Naruto only took the time to use a few weapons at a time from the Gate of Babylon and some powerful techniques he learned. That alone made him a powerful opponent, but it wasn't enough. Meliodas gave him a few lessons on how to utilize his gate better in combat. Naruto started to use the gate in more of a creative ways. After the lessons, the group continued to travel the entire West to search for members for the 7 deadly sins. At the start of the journey, the only members were the Boar's sin of gluttony, Merlin, Lion's sin of pride, Escanor, and Dragon's sin of wrath. Meliodas. 3 out of the 7 sins were filled, but Merlin was determined to revive the group. During one of their travel, they heard news of an immortal lurking around the countryside. Meliodas was intrigued by it and went off on his own to find this person. He came back a few weeks later with Ban. As an undead banner now, Fox's sin of greed. Ban. Since Ban joined the group, he and Meliodas became best friends. A few months later, Naruto decided to part ways temporary. Naruto wanted to train on his own in mastering his new power, Divine Dividing. The cool technological looking white and blue wings amazed Naruto greatly. Besides the ability to fly, he was able to divide his opponent's power in half every 10 seconds. According to Albion, if he trains in the wings, he would unlock a far greater power than the wings. Naruto decided to visit the Fairies forest that was said to be rather peaceful. He figured that it would be the best place to train without anyone trying to stab him in the back. Unfortunately, he ran into trouble there. He stumbled across a battlefield in the Fairies forest. A few demons and a couple dozens of devils were fighting each other. In the midst of their conflict were the peaceful fairy race or the surviving ones. Before the battle between devils and demons, the forest was already attacked and many fairies died. Only a couple dozen survived the attack and decided to rebuild their home. The fairies were without their protector to fight off the last attack that destroyed their home. The peace-loving fairies had to fight against creatures that desire their destruction for the first time on their own, and the result was clear. The next attack, they were lucky. Naruto tried to stop the demons and devils fighting each other, but failed, so he had to kill them. During the short three-way battle, he managed to achieve what he was training for a few minutes. His desire to protect the dying race, fairies, was enough to achieve what Albion called banishing Dragon Balance Breaker. The Balance Breaker is scale mail armor. It provided the same protection as a dragon scale, greater physical capabilities, and the use of the dividing abilities in shorter intervals. After taking out the dozen of devils and all-powerful demons, he managed to save a good number of fairies. About several dozens. Naruto promised to stay for a while to guard them, so they can put up a barrier to keep everyone out. Naruto helped in creating the barrier by changing it, so it would keep out those that have negative emotions. He learned it from sensing emotion from Kurama and barriers from Rin. The new barrier would only allow people that wouldn't harm them in. The barrier itself was also designed with the help of Byako. He may not know much about magecraft, but he could tell when meeting with Naruto in the forest that the forest have an unlimited supply of nature energy. He was quite jealous of this place for the supply. He worked with Naruto in tuning the barrier so that it would absorb nature energy to strengthen the barrier for an eternity. After a few more weeks of training in the forest, the protector decided to return. Only to be devastated in how his home was destroyed in his absences. The fairies refused to acknowledge their protector, King or Harlequin, as their leader anymore. He wasn't welcomed by his fellow fairies. Even if the other fairies ridiculed King, he would always care for them. He decided to repay Naruto. Naruto needed help in flying combat, so King started to teach him how to fight while flying. At the end of his training period, he left ready for aerial combat. He may have failed in achieving the balance breaker, but he was able to learn how to fight with his divine dividing wings. King couldn't help but feel guilty for what happened to his people and sister when he left, so he followed Naruto. Later he would join the 7 deadly sins as Grizzly Sin of Sloth. King. During the reunion of his friends, they managed to recruit a new member that Meliodas stumbled upon. A lady giant, Diane or now, Serpent Sin of Envy. Diane. The 7 deadly sins started to head out their own way to travel the entire West. They needed to know what they would be dealing with. The only one that stayed with Naruto to head back to human country is Meliodas and Ban. Escanor followed Merlin to find the last sin. King and Diane went off to travel the lands to help where they can like how they did in their past with each other. During King's disappearance from the fairy forest, he was out looking for someone. During his hunt, he lost his memory and ran into Diane. The two stayed together for a few hundred years. Giants and fairies naturally live long lives, so 100 years didn't seem much for them. He later regained his memory and went back to the forest only to find Naruto. Diane waited for a month, but soon left seeing that her friend didn't show up. That is when she ran into Meliodas. Naruto, Ban, and Meliodas headed toward to the Tasaka estate to see his old friends and start their crazy plan. But the girls, they had an eventful time with each other. FK and Ryu had been learning about MAGECRAFT1. FK decided to learn more about flying magic and a couple of elemental magic. Since the removal of Jame, FK didn't want her to be imprisoned once again, but she missed the wings that allow her to fly. She took up AERA2 magic to grow a pair of wings to fly once again. Seeing that she wanted to help Naruto in his attempt to unite the West, she learned another set of magic. She learned lightning and water magic. Using lightning from the sky to launch long-range lightning spell at the enemy, and water magic for close-quarter combat or long range. She wanted to learn to generate water by using magic, so she can use ninjutsu to use water-style jutsu in remembrance of her home. Rigetsu, Ryu, wanted to be a mix of a spy. She learned the reflector spell. By distorting the light around themselves, the user is capable of hiding away their body, effectively vanishing from sight in a bluish flash, and then becoming invisible. This way, she would be an effective spy and reconnaissance. Arturia and Rin only polished their skills. Her magic resistance were quite high, so she didn't need to worry about attack spells. She developed a magic technique that works well with her swordsmanship. It was mana infuses and accumulates magical energy into her weapon and body, momentarily injecting an arbitrary vector that allows for an exceptional boost of her abilities by instantaneously releasing the magical energy to reinforce herself. It can be called a jet blast of magical energy to increase her movements in close combat, and executing large-scale body reinforcement through mana burst is only possible with her immense magical power. She have immense magical powers compared to the others that got magic circuits from Drake. Rin theorized that it was Caliburns present that increase it. Even though her magical power is superior to the rest of the girls, including the not jealous Rin, she didn't want to learn about any other spells. She still wanted to base herself out of a knight, not a magus. Hello? Naruto sang from the door of the Tasaka's estate to see if anyone is home. Naruto? Shouted two girls. It was Arturia and FK. Arturia gave him a long and passionate kiss. Ban and Meliodas only whistled to her action. Arturia. FK. It's great to see you too. He said happily and went over to give FK a hug. Where are the others? Demei and Kurama left off somewhere. They wanted to visit some place a few months ago. They wanted to see how much has changed. They haven't returned yet. FK answered. They deserve this break. They have been gone from their home for far too long. Naruto said. Rin and Ryu left to get supplies. Arturia told him. Supplies? Naruto questioned. Mainly herbs and other medical or poison ingredient. I didn't like the idea of poison, but Rin made a point that some poisonous ingredient could act as a cure to poison and are used for many potions. They won't be back till the end of this month. Ban said. We can't wait that long for them. We can do it with the 5 of us. Meliodas said. Ah, excuse me. Who are you two and what do you mean? FK asked. A couple introductions and travel stories later. If we strike Camelot in a few days, we would be able to take out that bastard, Nobunaga. We can take control of their entire human territory. Ban explained their plan. During their travel on their way back, they learned that Camelot would be under guard due to the tax collection. It would usually be at unknown moments, but they would know when Nobunaga is planning to collect tax from the entire territory. These tax collection forcefully take away supplies and money from every human. Even to the town that doesn't receive his protection from the other race. If we do this, how do we know that everyone won't turn on us? Arturia asked. She knew that it was wise to get rid of Nobunaga. Simple. This. Meliodas said as he tossed a piece of paper with several names. Arturia and FK look at the note. Those are the names of people that support Nobunaga and their pockets are being filled up. If we take out Nobunaga and those people out, we would be able to get the most of the army and all the humans on our side. A lot of people don't like either of them. Several corrupt officers would need to be taken out or change them. With all of that done, we have an army and a base of operation. That still leave one problem. Who will kill Nobunaga? I heard he isn't someone that shouldn't be underestimated. FK asked. It should be the strongest out of us all. Sir Meliodas should Arturia said, but was cut off. No. I will take him. He said. Meliodas just smiled at him while the girls got a worried look. He realized what it takes to be a leader. Leading by example is the best way to sway people. Meliodas thought. There are several leaders in the West have generals that lead their army while they just sit on the throne and make decisions. Those leaders are rarely respected and would end up being killed, so another person will take their place. Naruto, it's too dangerous. Arturia and FK tried to protest. They didn't doubt his ability, but Nobunaga was someone capable of fighting and leading humans, the weakest race in the West, against all other race for many years. That alone speaks for his leadership and power. It's just his ruling that people don't like. No. It'd have to be me. If I'm to unite the West, I can't hide behind others while they fight for me. They won't acknowledge me and will doubt me if I let others fight my battle. This isn't a fight for humanity. It's a test for me. It's to see if I'm worthy of being the once and future king. You remember my fight with Drake. He didn't listen to me because he didn't think I was worthy as the king. Others would think the same and only a few like Albion would acknowledge my rule based solely on Caliburn. I won't accept that. My fight to rule will be the blood and sweat on the battlefield will be a sign as my right to rule. Naruto explained. Okay, Arturia reluctantly agreed. I'll let you fight him alone. Good. Now, FK and Ban would take out the targets. Their skills are more suitable for assassinations. Meliodas and Arturia will grab the attention of all the guards and keep the focus on you two. Try to kill as few as possible. Those soldiers have family to go home to. Getting a nod for him. Meliodas was proud of his plan. The plan was to do as little damage as possible, but effectively killing all the corruptions and danger to the territory. It showed that he isn't out to kill, but to save and unite. Hopefully the other race would see it like that and not another human power struggle. I will take out Nobunaga. Naruto explained his plan. Right. All 4 people said together. In acknowledgement of Naruto's plan. Good. The operation starts in 4 days at dawn. Rest up and be prepared. 4 days later. Everyone left the Tasaka estate and went off to Camelot, the capital of the human territory. The plan was simple, FK and Ban take out the corrupt politicians and supporters of Nobunaga on the list. Doing so will get rid of the corruptions that everyone in the human territory is living in. Naruto heads straight into the castle and take out Nobunaga himself. The problem with that is that Nobunaga wields a powerful sword, the Mi no Murakumo no Tsurugi, or as Naruto refers it to, the Kusanagi. Not to be mistaken with the Kusanagi blade that Orochimaru wields. Orochimaru's Kusanagi is a blade created by the snake summon. It's just a very sturdy blade that is coated by the special poison of the snake clan. The snake clan based their sword off the original Kusanagi that came from the dead body of a very powerful serpent, Yamato no Urachi. The original Kusanagi is said to have the ability to command all serpents and snake. It also have great ability that can challenge many POPLE3. It's unknown how Nobunaga acquired the sword, but many didn't ask when he showed how powerful he was with it. Meliodas and Arturia were great swordsmen. The two should be able to hold off the majority of the guards in town and keep their eyes on them. Especially, Nobunaga. Meliodas is well known with all the powerhouse of the West. Challenging him without 2 or 3 other powerhouse would be considered suicide. Officially, there are only about 50 powerhouse players in the West. Although, it's unsure due to the lack of a proper system to spread news. It was only hearing of rumors and actually experienced them from battle. Naruto was using his shinobi training to quietly enter the castle. He managed to reach Nobunaga's room to kill him while he watched. However, he did something stupid. "Nobunaga!" Naruto shouted him from behind. Nobunaga was shocked to see someone get so close to killing him. He drew his blade as he turned around. "I here for a battle to the death," Naruto declared as he pointed Excalibur at him. He wanted to fight like a warrior, not as an assassin. Master is sometimes an idiot, Caliburn thought with a sweat drop. I mean, he could have killed him right there and mission accomplished. Before the battle, Naruto asked for Arturia to trade blades for this battle. Seeing how Excalibur and Caliburn work in similar ways, but Excalibur was always the superior holy sword, it confused her. He confided to her about his plan to properly challenge him as a knight, warrior, and king. He wanted to fight as the once and future king when he start off. "Who are you, boy?" he demanded. "I'm Naruto." He raised Caliburn vertically, parallel of his face and body. Showing Caliburn in her full glory. "I'm the one that pulled the sword out of the stone. I'm the once and future king and I will unite the West." "Once and future king." Ha 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 ha. He laughed maniacally. "The legendary sword, Caliburn, in the hands of a boy. I will kill you and take that sword for myself." He charged at Naruto. Only to clash blades with him. "I am possible," he shouted. His sword was being overpowered by Caliburn aura. Naruto pushed him back. Out of his room and into the courtyard. "Looks like the sword live up to its legend. I'll enjoy wielding that sword." He bit his thumb and wiped blood on Kusanagi's side. Kusanagi snake belly. The Kusanagi seems to grow another blade to it. Snake lance. He swung his blade, forming a zigzag shockwave that creates a destructive impact. Naruto blocked it, but he took some damage due to the wide range attack it formed. "Damn." Naruto muttered as he spit out some blood. "That sword really lives up to its legend." "Of course it does. It may not be as powerful as me, but its abilities are more useful compared to mine," Caliburn said sadly. She was considered one of the strongest sword, but she lacked technique. Naruto summoned a noble phantasm to fire it at Nobunaga. However, this one was a different attack than usual. He grabbed onto the handle as it flew out. Firing himself at Nobunaga at great speed. "Ah!" Naruto quickly slashed at his chest. Nobunaga started to cough up a lot of blood from his slash. The reason that Nobunaga didn't react in time is due to the speed. The gate fire noble phantasm is the rate of a bullet. During the time, it was far faster than most speed that isn't teleportation. Even Meliodas couldn't defend against the speed and had to rely on his demon body and regeneration against that attack. "That damn brat. How dare he does this to me." He bit his finger again and wiped the blood on his blade. Kusanagi snake form. The Kusanagi transform into a larger blade with an additional 4-blade. White serpent. Starting as a jagged line of energy akin to her snake lance technique. "That doesn't look good," Naruto thought as light. He channeled prana into Caliburn. Banishing shift. He shouted as he intended to cancel out the attack. Only to fail when the lights transform into multiple snakes that wrap around the target, binding him from head to toe. "Shit. It's over." He shouted while laughing at his doom. The snakes exploded. This was one of the strongest technique that the Kusanagi had. The white serpent would take out many strong opponent. Due to it splitting up when it's about to make contact and bind the opponent, it was a dangerous move. Arturia was still outside of the gate of the city. Fighting along with Meliodas against all the soldiers coming at them. She heard the explosion from the castle and could only stare at the smoke. "Naruto," she whispered. She was worried about him. The explosion didn't help her at all. It only made her more worried. Somewhere in the sky, a mint green hair girl had the same thought. "Focus. I'm sure Naruto is okay." Meliodas said to get her attention to what is at hand. "Have faith." Ahahahaha. He laughed. He watched as the smoke began to clear up. "The golden sword of Victorious is mine." He cheered as he began to walk over to Naruto's corpse. A powerful wind gust blew the smoke away. To surprise Nobunaga greatly. There stood a white-armored man. The armor seemed to look like a refined version of dragon-scale armor. Also, he was still holding Caliburn. Vanishing Dragon Balance Breaker. Vanishing Dragon as in Albion, the Vanishing Dragon. One of the Heavenly Dragon, he asked, demanded in fear. The Welsh Dragon and Vanishing Dragon were the common name that the two Heavenly Dragon were referred to often. This is the power granted to me by my friend, Albion. The Divine Dividing. It allows me the ability to divide my opponent's power in half every 10 seconds, but in the balance breaker form, I'm able to use it as much as my body can handle, and I can handle a lot of power. Naruto said. He was a Jinchuriki, albeit a Soul Jinchuriki. Still, as in Uzumaki, he could wield large amount of power. One of the things he doesn't hate about being born from Kushina Namikaze. Impossible. Nobunaga shouted in denial. He charged at Naruto with as much prana as he could muster in the Kusanagi. Naruto just grabbed the sword in mid-swing. Divide, 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 divide. Naruto absorbed all the prana in the sword and in his magic circuit, leaving him powerless. Naruto then took the sword away from him and stabbed Caliburn into his stomach. He started to cough up a lot of blood. Too much blood. So this is how it ends, he muttered out while leaning Naruto in his scale mail. This is the end, Nobunaga. You may be a monster to many, but I hope you find peace in the next life. Naruto said. Forgiving a monster like me, maybe you're the once and future king. Tell me what is your full name, so I know who will lead my nation and unite the West. He asked. Naruto. Just Naruto. Naruto answered him. It was right to answer a dying man question. Haha, he laughed weakly. Fish cake getting a tick mark off Naruto. No, Maelstrom. That fits you, but you need a proper legacy name. After a few seconds of thought. Pendragon. Naruto Pendragon, the man that wields the power of a dragon. He said while chuckling. Naruto placed him down. He started to laugh while dying. The man should always smile when dying. It shows he has no regrets. You may have been a monster to your people, but you have a heart of a warrior. Rest in peace. Naruto said as he closed Nobunaga's eye. The battle ended. The targets killed. Order slowly being restored. A few weeks later, the rest of the girls returned back. Only to find that everyone else is at Camelot. Trying their best to restore order and unite the people. Surprisingly, it was a lot easier. When Naruto came out to face all the soldiers in town and the citizens, he waved both Caliburn and Kusanagi in the air. There, many accepted him. For a strong warrior because he had their old king's sword and a king for holding the golden sword of Victorious. Many humans knew of the legend and how it's described because many placed their hope into it. Funny, Excalibur was built from the wish and hope of all when they place it on Caliburn. Merlin returned on time to see Naruto. She was proud of what he has done. The girls reprimanded him for a crazy plan and for his recklessness. Naruto was injured and left in bed before Rin and Rai returned. Words has spread about the once and future king finally arriving to the west. Majority of the army that served Nobunaga had no problem serving Naruto. The citizens of the human territory heard about his action and his attempt to help all of them, including other races. Many accepted him as the new king to lead them. The Camelot, many people were gathered at the castle, including all of the 7 deadly sins. Including the last member, Goat Sin of Lust. Gother. It was the day to announce the revival of the legendary 7 deadly sins and their new king. After Merlin giving a long speech about the group and Naruto. I present you the once and future king. Naruto Pendragon. Merlin announced. Getting a loud applause for the Blue Armor King. Behind him stood his friends, lovers, and family. Felix was there too. I, Naruto Pendragon, am the one that pulled the golden sword of Victorious, Caliburn. He drew the sword and raised it sky high for everyone to bask in its golden light. I swear. That I will unite the entire West. I desire peace. But not just peace for humans. But peace for angels, devils, ghouls, demons, fairies, humans, and all other race. Getting a very loud applause. We shall unite this war-torn world. We will stand together as one and fight as one. I know that it will be difficult for you to find peace with the other race that once hunted you, but I have faith in you and them. We will find peace. We will find out happy ending. Every single one of us. Even more applause roared out. Many people were inspired by the powerful but peaceful and kind man that Naruto is. I'll lead us to a golden age. No one shall stop me from uniting the land and finding peace for all. Long live the king. Meliodas shouted after Naruto finished his speech. Long live the king. Long live the king. Long live the king. Long live the king. Everyone started to chant. Bringing tears of joy to the young king. Deep breath. Naruto woke up from bed. His eyes started to scan the room. Only to find himself naked with an equally naked Rin and Arturia. Then memories of last night event came back to him. The threesome. Didn't see that coming. Naruto thought. After a night of drinking and celebrating, and those two dragged me into bed. Haha, I thought the men were the perverts, not the women. Naruto quietly gotten out of bed by replacing himself with a clone for the girls to cuddle with. Naruto got dressed in black pants and red shirt. He then went out to do his duty as king. It has been 1 week after Naruto's coronation to be the king of humanity. Since his declaration, everything has been going great. Naruto managed to get control of all of the humans' territory with little resistance. Apparently, people are willing to listen to the once and future king more easily than he thought. However, there were still several rogue elements in his little kingdom, but it was nothing he couldn't handle. Naruto brought down all the corrupted families that supported his predecessor. One such family is the Matou family. One of the most powerful magical family that are humans. They were known for the cruelty and frown upon methods. What really got Naruto's attention was the next heir to the family, or should I say heiress. Sakura Matou, formerly Sakura Tasaka. This case was a difficult one for Naruto. The first being the clan refusing to recognize Naruto's rule. He had a choice to either leave them alone where they could cause a lot of problem down the road or deal with them now. It was one of the first choice he had to make as king, and it was a tough one. He knew that everyone wasn't evil like the current head, but they were powerful enough and dangerous enough to cause enough problems and deaths down the line. Naruto asked for a full dossier of the family. So far, there were too few that seemed good, so Naruto decided to launch a rescue mission on them then and eliminate the rest of the family. Overall, it was successful. A few Matou were saved, including Sakura. Most of the family, including the monsters Auken, the rapist Shinji, and others were all killed by Naruto, Meliodas, and Merlin. The current problem was Sakura. She was very much devoid of life and had the damn crest worms in her. Fortunately, Merlin was able to get rid of all the crest worms inside her, but she still needed therapy for all the trauma she'd been through. Over the last few weeks, Naruto visited her and spent time with her to help regain her humanity. He would usually send his clone to deal with his friends and family or his duties because he wanted to personally take care of Sakura. There was also the fact that she is Rin's sister that her father given to the Matou family. In the past weeks, Sakura radically changed since Naruto first laid his eyes upon her. From a lifeless girl to kind, shy girl. It's not much, but it is a lot of progress. She became very clingy to Naruto and developed romantic feelings for him. Calling him her shining knight. Naruto noted that she had a pink ribbon in her hair and she told him that it was a gift from Rin when they were still sisters. She held onto to it because it gave her hope that her sister will rescue her. There were times that she becomes very dark but quickly snaps out of it. Her dark side came from the years of endless torture from her adoptive family. Now was the day to check up on her. He was hoping that she will be ready to live out her life without any pain and finally be reunited with her sister, something he was trying to surprise Rin with. Naruto headed off to meet the purple-haired girl. Knock knock. Sakura. It's me. Naruto said as he knocked on her room. Naruto. Click come in. Please. She said happily as she let Naruto walk into her room. Naruto took a seat at the table where Sakura took the seat across from him. How are you feeling? I'm feeling a lot better now. Good. You've been through a lot, Sakura. You deserve to be happy. Thank you. Today, we will see how far you came. I know you don't go out a lot, but it's time for you to see what life has to offer, so we're going on a date. Sakura gasped at the news. She wasn't expecting a date with the man she fell in love with and she was definitely not against it. Okay. Let me get change first. She said happily. Naruto couldn't help but smile. She was acting right for her age. A happy schoolgirl going out with senpai. He couldn't say that for himself. He took on so many responsibilities at such a young age, but that had to do with his life back in the East. Kids were groomed and indoctrinated to become child soldiers, ninja. A practice that is very rare in the West as the races in the West fight for their children, not arm them to fight for home. It was I guess old habits die hard. He thought bitterly. He never liked the idea of kids not having the chance of living life. That's why he's doing everything he can, so Sakura can enjoy the happiness that was taken away from her as a child. If he could make one person, like Sakura, smile, then he would carry on with all the hardship the world has for him. Naruto took Sakura out for a nice walk through the local park. It was morning, so the scenery was breathtaking. Sakura enjoyed being in Naruto's company throughout the walk. She even started to interact with the citizens that were up in the morning. After the walk, he took her out to a nice family-run restaurant for breakfast. Overall, the date was successful. She enjoyed her time with Naruto and got a taste of life. She also seemed to be adjusting from the sudden change of environment. It looked like she was ready to be reintroduced to the world. Free from her cage that the Matou put her in. Walking back to Camelot Castle. Sakura, do you think you're ready to meet with your sister? Naruto asked. Naruto noticed her body shaking up from the question. I am afraid. What if she doesn't accept me? She asked him with tears coming down her eyes. Naruto wiped the tears away and brought her in for a hug. Rin isn't like that. I've spent plenty of time with her to know she isn't like that. She's rude, loud, stingy, shrewd, bossy, she's a lot of things, okay. He said with a slight sweat drop as he realized that there is a lot of things to describe Rin. But she isn't cruel. I remember she told me once that her biggest regret in life is failing someone she loves. She may have not talked about you, but it was clear that she was thinking about you. I know that she failed to save you, but you should give her the chance to be the big sister that she always wanted to be. Just do as I say and I can prove to you that she loves you very much. He let her go. He reminded her of the plan for her meeting Rin. Sakura started to wipe away her tears, feeling the newfound courage to face her sister. Thank you, she said as she gave a quick kiss to Naruto on the lips and went into the room that she was supposed to wait in. Small laugh, you're definitely Rin's sister, Sakura. Naruto muttered as he remembered the soft lips of Sakura. Naruto went over to look for Rin. While searching the castle for a certain twin tail, Naruto spotted a certain green-haired girl with tan skin. Naruto-sama 1, FK shouted in joy as she saw him. Sai, how many times did I tell you to drop the honorific FK? He asked. A lot, she answered happily. You're not going to stop, aren't you? She shook her head. Whatever. Did you hear anything from Chime? He asked. FK looked sad and shook her head. No. I haven't seen her or Kurama since they left. I'm getting worried. What if they abandon us? FK feared. She may have not been treated badly as other Jinchuriki, but she was alone for most of her life. Chime was one of the constant people that was there for her in the land of waterfall. No way. Naruto brought her into a hug. He knew that since she was alone most of her life, Chime meant a lot to her like how Kurama means a lot to Naruto. This is the first time of freedom and their home. They must be enjoying being free and at home now. They will come back when they're ready. Hi. She said happily, agreeing with his statement. Naruto started to walk away before turning back to shout at her. Have you seen Rin? Yeah. She is at the library. Said something about looking for something. She answered. Thanks. I'll see you later. Naruto walked away towards the library, leaving a happy FK do whatever she was doing before. Naruto walked towards the library to find his lover. Naruto reached the library to find Rin going through several documents. Documents that was locked up due to privacy. Documents that Naruto went through himself. She must be looking for any information on Sakura. I made it hard for anyone to get those documents. He thought as he recalled several decrees he made as king. One such law is about the privacy of his citizens. Records would be kept of them, but they won't be open to the public, only high-ranking people could get their hands on them. A position that Rin didn't have. Naruto passed her to go through the unlocked cabinet that held information of magical families and dig through it to see if she took the folder he wrote up on Sakura. He found the file to be in the cabinet. She must be looking at the Matou file. Didn't know that there is already a personal file for Sakura. Naruto took out several paper out of the file that had details of her recovery and therapy and pocketed them. Naruto brought the file of Sakura to Rin. It only detailed her horrible life with the Matou family. He then grabbed one of Rin's twin tails and started to drag her out of the room. Ow. 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 The hair. Naruto. She screamed at Naruto in pain. He finally let go. Rin, follow me. He told her sternly. Surprising her. Can't this wait? I'm busy. She told him as she fixed her hair. Naruto just continued to stare at her. Surprising her that Naruto seemed to be so cold to her. She did flinch a little. What's with the look? She demanded. Even if he's king, he would always be her stupid idiot. We should talk in private. Naruto told her. She refused to move. Not until you tell me what got into you. Sakura Matou. Rin froze at those words. What? She muttered in shock. After several seconds for her to recover, she continued. I don't know what you're talking about. She stuttered out due to the topic of the conversation. Naruto just grabbed her hand and dragged her to the room that Sakura was hiding in. The room was more of an interrogation room. A table with 2 seats, a couple of doors, and a vent. Naruto took a seat and gestured Rin to the seat across him. She was very nervous now, but she didn't show it. Why? Naruto asked. Staying true to the plan. I don't know what you're talking about, she claimed. Playing the ignorant card. She didn't want to talk about it. Naruto then dropped the file in front of her. During the entire time, she claimed and acted to not care about a Sakura Matou, but she started to read the file right away. Not caring about what Naruto think of her now. Let me summarize it for you. Sakura Matou, formerly Sakura Tasaka. Your younger sister. She ignored Naruto as she was still reading the file. A little girl that been through hell. She was abused, tortured, and raped. Rin froze. The Matou family were one of the few to go against my rule, so I had to deal with them. Little Sakura was the heir of the Matou family, Naruto said coldly. Rin picked up the word, was. Don't tell me. She said weakly. not wanting to believe that Naruto was suggesting. The Matus were a danger and I made a call. I couldn't allow them to continue to exist. Bam. Rin jumped up from her seat and tackled Naruto and choking him in pure rage. She wasn't strong enough to try to choke him, but she did her damn best. Naruto could only feel her hands around his throat and a few tears on his face. Rin was crying. Why? She muttered. Why? She screamed at him. Even if she loves him, she can't help but feel hatred for him now. You killed my sister. Naruto just continued to stare at her emotionless. He needed her to express her feelings for her little sister. I know that I failed her, but I still love her. I was never able to find her after father gave her to them. No matter how hard I tried, I failed. She gave up trying to strangle her lover and just fell on top of him crying into his chest. I'm a failure. She cried out. Naruto started to comfort her. It was then that a door opened, but Rin didn't hear it due to her cries. Big sister. Rin immediately got up while still crying to find the source of the voice. She saw a beautiful violet-haired girl with violet eyes. Rin noticed that the girl seemed to be crying like herself, but with a smile on her face. Then she saw a pink ribbon tied to her hair that she recognized right away. Sakura. Rin got off him and dove into Sakura for a hug. Then begun an emotional reunion between sisters. You're right, Naruto. She does care. She thought as she continued to cry tears of joy, while Rin cried tears of relief and happiness. Knowing that he wasn't needed for this moment, he left the two to catch up. Next day, midnight. Naruto allowed the two sisters to catch up for all those years of separation. He didn't bother to watch them. It was a very emotional moment for the two. Plus, he knew that Rin never meant to harm him when he tricked her to revealing her feelings for Sakura. Rin is a strong woman that doesn't like to open up a lot. That's why she wore a fake smile in public. We find our blonde king underground of the castle. Naruto was wearing dark blue V-neck shirt with a high-collared black leather jacket over it. He also wears burgundy jeans with a silver chain drooping down over them and black leather chaps with 3 bands encircling his right calf and black shoes with black buckles. He also had a backpack of supplies and Excalibur and Avalon with him by his side. Naruto was finishing packing up. Are you going to tell me what you're doing, or do I have to force it out of you? A woman asked behind Naruto. He froze since he is caught in the act of leaving. Naruto turned around to find a fair-skinned woman with waist-length white hair. Rigetsu? He said nervously as he stared at her gray eyes with multiple circular patterns. Rigetsu just kept a stoic face as she waited for his answer. Sai, you caught me. I'm leaving. Naruto said as he put on the backpack. Where are you leaving? Rick, how much do you know of the West? She took a minute to think about his question. Wondering where he was going with this. I know about all the other races, magic, and territory. Why? There is more to the West than that. I know that there are amazing wildlife out there. More reasons for the races to fight each other. Also, the physical energy, Dukai. I only hear about how magic is great and whatnot, but I rarely hear about this Dukai that I was told about when I first came here. There is so much to learn about the West that I can't learn by staying in this castle. You're king now. Leaving would put your life in danger. Maybe, but I think it's worth it. How can I be king if I am not willing to face problems myself? I have to go out there to personally talk to the leaders of each faction and learn for myself. And most importantly, how can I be king if I don't know what it means to be king? Nobunaga was a man of greed, but at the same time a warrior. The demon king rules with absolute power. The Kages are ruled by a council. There is many way to rule, Rick. I need to see them all, so I can find out how to the king I want. Sai, you're an idiot. She walked over to him. Slap. Rigetsu gave him a hard slap. OWWW. Rick then pulled him for a deep kiss. After a moment for Naruto to recover from the pain, he kissed her back. After a minute of kissing. Promise me that you'll come back alive. She whispered to him lovingly. Of course. He whispered back. I can never leave any of you girls like that. The two then let go of their hug. Naruto reached into his cloak and handed her a letter. I need you to deliver this letter to Arturia, Rick. Merlin and Meliodas are aware of what I'm planning. The letter state that Arturia will be left in charge when I'm not around. Merlin and Meliodas will help her keep the peace when I'm away. Rick took the letter. What if there is a problem that we can't handle without you? Naruto took a minute to think about it. He then bit his thumb and swiped it over his other palm. Summoning jutsu. Naruto, do you know that it's late? Why did you call me so late at night? A 4-feet white tiger appeared and asked Naruto. He seemed to be sleeping before Naruto summoned him. Sorry Felix. I need a favor from you. What is it? The white tiger, Felix, son of the boss summons, Bayako, asked. A western name on an eastern creature hasn't been done till now. Felix was a newborn and Bayako allowed Naruto to name him. Seeing as Naruto is in a new world, a new name is needed. I need you to accept Rick as a summoner. Surprising the tiger and girl. You want me to accept someone that hasn't passed the test? He asked in a disbelieving tone. Yes. I know her. She lost people and fought hard. I have faith in her. Trust me on this. He told him. Rick was still in a slight state of shock. Felix just stared into his friend's eyes. Seeing that he didn't have any doubt in his statement. Fine, but you owe me. He disappeared to get the contract scroll. What did you just do? She asked. I just made you a summoner of the fabled white tigers. Be proud because we're the only two summoners now. I didn't mean that. Why did you do that? I did it because I know you deserve it. You've been through a lot back east and you followed me to the west even after going through all the shit. You did all that alone and you're going to need to work harder when you're here. Besides, this way, we can keep in touch with one another. Of course, the others don't need to know about this. He said with a wink. Causing her to slightly blush and smile. 1 week later. During the week travel around the west, Naruto made little progress in his journey. He traveled all around the kingdom of Camelot and personally assist the towns in his land. Many were dealing with bandits or corruption still lingering after the coup d'etat against the previous king. Of course, Naruto couldn't stay long in the small villages. He would find guards and knight from Camelot itself sent there to retrieve him under his beloved Arturia's order. Man, she must be pissed. Naruto thought as he walked through the forest that should lead to outside of his kingdom. Dropping all that responsibly on her all of sudden, chuckle. I have faith in her to rule in my stead. Your Majesty. A male voice called out mockingly. Naruto drew out Excalibur and started to search the area until he looked up to the trees. Only to find a rough-looking man around 20 years of age. The man wore blue clothing covered with heavy silver armor and a wolf's head holding a crescent moon amulet. The man had blue hair and a ponytail. The most noticeable feature he had is the red spear that screamed danger for anyone with the ability to sense magic. 1. Who the hell are you, Ponytail? Naruto questioned him. Already giving him a nickname. The man didn't like the nickname at all. The hell you called me? He then jumped down from the tree branch. I heard a lot from you. As he pointed his spear at him. What have you heard? He asked while holding up Excalibur. That's a fake. Naruto thought as he eyed the spear. He knew that spear at first glance. Gaebolg. The demonic cursed spear. Created from the demon, Kurud. The spear that will curse whoever it pierces. Also, the weapon that will always strike the heart. A dangerous weapon if it's real. The design and power is similar, but not the same. I should know, it's in my treasury. I heard that you are the youngest king around. There is also the fact that you killed Nobunaga and most importantly, you're the once and future king. He said with a mad grin. I wanted to test myself against you. So you're a believer of the legends. I won't say a believer. I'm more of a man that seeks out strong opponents. If you think that a fake Gaebolg is enough to beat me, then you vastly underestimated me. He said with a small laugh. The man could only laugh. He then looked at his spear and started to spin it around. You could tell. I guess there are some perks to being the man of legends. My master, Scathach, made a copy of her spear to give to me as a reward for being her student. She couldn't part ways with the original I guess, but being a fake doesn't mean it weakens me. I can still be a challenge to anyone that I face. Name's Kuchulin by the way, so how about it? He got into his stance. Naruto got into his stance as well. I guess that I have no choice. The battlefield was silent. The two stare at each other waiting for one of the other to make the first move. Then the two disappear in a burst of speed and spear and sword clash into each other. Kuchulin was obvious the faster between the two, but Naruto had more power and more strength. Naruto managed to block all of the Ku's thrust, but failed at landing a hit. The blue-haired man was quite fast and nimble. This exchange continued on for several minutes as one of them tried to land a solid hit on each other. Unfortunately, both failed. Looks like there are some truth in the legend. He said with a grin. Naruto could only grin back. He quite enjoyed the battle, but his speed is getting on his nerve. You're not bad yourself, but I'm getting tired of you dodging my attacks. It's time for me to take it up a notch. Kuchulin eyes widened when he saw gold ripples appear from Naruto's back with weapons coming out of them. His instinct told him that those weapons were dangerous. He then quickly unhooked his armor to gain more speed. Naruto letting the man unequip his armor so he can see his full potential. As soon as the last piece of armor fell, he fired all the weapons he prepared. Coup of course dodged them, but Naruto was able to predict where he would dodge due to him firing at him at a certain angle. Naruto charged at the position that Coup jumped to and Naruto finally managed to get a slash at the spearman. The battle went on for hours and Coup took a lot of damage and he was beginning to get tired. Then there is Naruto who seems to heal from everything that Coup could deal against him and his stamina seemed to be endless. Damn. I didn't see that coming. Coup cursed in his mind. Even with the extra speed, he's able to counter it with more weapons and with proper strategy. Coup quickly recovered from the attack and managed to land a powerful kick that sent Naruto crashing into a tree. The two then went on to face each other. Naruto easily pressed Coup, but getting close to him, Coup was able to kick him, then charge at him for a thrust with Gay Bulg. Naruto was affected by the curse inflicted by the spear, too. Whistle, that's impressive. You managed to shrug off the curse. Even though this spear is a fake, it's a very good fake that Scathach created. I can't take the full credit, Naruto said. He then gestured to his sheath. Avalon, Excalibur's sheath is my ultimate defense. It provides me protection and amazing healing abilities, but then again, I was born with great healing abilities already. How about we end this once and for all? Cuchulain could only grin at this. He then jumped back. Agreed. I have a feeling that you'll be the first to survive my next attack. He then took a crouching position on all fours. Then he started to dash towards Naruto before he jumped up into the air. He arches his back as if drawing a bow. So this is Gay Bulg's full potential. He thought. He was very impressed by the amount of power that Coup was building up. Master, you won't be able to tank this attack. I recommend using me and Avalon, Excalibur advised Naruto. No. I think that the demonic spear deserved to battle against a dragon. Banishing Dragon Balance Breaker. Naruto materialized the full white dragon armor, ready to take on the spear. Gay Bulg. Coup threw the spear at him with the intent to kill him and anything between the two. What shocked Coup the most was that Naruto caught the spear with both hands when it was inches away from his heart. Damn. That's the rumored dragon power. The power that earned him the Pendragon name. He thought. He knew full well how dangerous dragons were, even the weakest, but he never faced one before. Divide. Naruto was dividing the power of the spear, but it seemed endless. The spear continued to charge towards Naruto, but Naruto managed to keep it at bay with his own power. The power of dragon and demon collide with each other that eventually caused a massive explosion that sent both Naruto and Coup away crashing into many trees. Nighttime. Fast deep breathing, what the? You're alive. The man that woke up was Cuchulain. He turned towards the sound of the voice. He found Naruto at the campfire roasting a deer and already eating the deer. He then looked at himself to see that he was covered in bandages. Don't sit there. You were knocked out all day. Naruto gestured him to the log that he was sitting. Coup took a minute to think about it. He was wondering why he wasn't dead. He knew that he lost as soon as Naruto caught the spear. He then gave up and listened to his stomach and went over to the campfire to take a piece of that deer meat. The man enjoyed the roasted deer. Then came the moment of truth. Why am I alive? Better question is, why should I kill you? Naruto countered. I challenge you to a battle to the death. Doesn't matter to me. I saw that you're powerful. It would be a shame to kill you when there is a lot of improvement for a better fight next time. He said with a grin with a puff of cheeks full of deer meat. Coup could only laugh. It was something that he completely agreed with. He may have not given his previous opponents the chance that he was receiving, but he could understand Naruto. He was, in a way, nurturing him for battle next time. I feel like this is going to be a beautiful friendship, he said with a laugh. I never really introduced myself to you. Name Naruto Pendragon, King of Camelot, he said while offering his fist for a fist bump. Coup could only smile at his action. He fist bumped with him. Cuchulain. Sometimes called the Child of Light. My friends calls me Satanta. Deciding to call Naruto his friend. Run you son of a bitch. Run. Naruto screamed at his new best friend bodyguard, Cuchulain, aka Satanta. After their fight, Naruto quickly welcomed him as his new friend and in turn he swore to serve him. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? Satanta screamed back. The two was currently running away from a herd of magical creatures. Apparently, Naruto wanted to play with the animals but got more than what he was expecting. Of course they could have killed them, but they were here to see the animals, not hunt them down. We're running out of room. Satanta pointed out as he noticed the cliff in front of them. Jump. Naruto shouted at him. Doing as he say, Satanta jumped right after Naruto. Both landed into the lake at the bottom of the cliff. The two swam to land and took a breather. I hope you're happy. Satanta told him grumpily. How was I supposed to know that they will attack us right off the back? He retorted. I warn you that they were territorial creatures. They don't like strangers. He countered. Whatever. He muttered. Seeing as it was his fault that this happened. The plan to see the wildlife in the magical beast Forest-1 may have not been the brightest idea. The two idiots decided to make camp inside the cave behind the waterfall. Even though they could kill the magical beasts, fighting them in hordes were far too dangerous. Night has come and the two began to eat a well-roasted fish. A really big fish. Then I said. Hi. Satanta was telling Naruto a story from his past but was interrupted by the scream. The fuck? Who's out there at night? Satanta questioned out loud. Nighttime was for the predators to come out and eat. "Sai, let's go," Naruto ordered as he drew Excalibur to go save whoever was screaming out there. Satanta only shrugged before he picked up his spear. Split up. The two went their separate ways, looking for the idiot in the forest. Sure, he and Satanta were idiots in general, but they were powered idiots. They could take care of themselves, unlike the screamer. Naruto eventually found the source of the scream. It appeared to be a horde of blood-sucking demon bats feasting on their prey. Naruto saw a woman in the middle of the swarm. She has long pale blue hair, purple eyes, there seemed to be a symbol in the middle of her forehead, wore a blue outfit, and carried a sword. It seems that the woman passed out during the attack by the bats. Damn it, Naruto grumbled. Seeing no other way to save her, he jumped directly into the swarm and picked her up. Get the fuck out of here. Bats are a pain in the ass to deal with. Satanta shouted as he started his jump into the swarm as well to kill as many bats as he can. His plan was to buy him enough time to escape back to the cave with the woman, while he keep them busy. Blood-sucking demon bats were known to stay together in groups of the hundreds, and they rarely give up on their prey. You better get back to the cave alive, Dumbus. Naruto shouted as he felt less bats biting him. He then took off to get the woman to safety. A few hours later, Naruto took the woman back to the cave and healed her. The bites from the bats came with their own venom, but Avalon had no problem healing poison at such a weak potency. All he had to do is let Avalon be near her. Satanta is going to need Avalon to help cure himself. He muttered. You damn right I do. Satanta shouted as he entered the cave. Naruto noticed him covered in blood and bites. He gestured him to sit next to the unconscious woman. Seeing that he was annoyed from fighting all the bats, Naruto pulled out his fine wine from his gate. He needed a good drink. Before summoning golden goblets to drink from, Satanta took the bottle and started to chug it, getting a chuckle from him. Know anything about this woman? It took a minute before Satanta's eyes widened. How the fuck did she get beaten by such weak magical creatures? I take it you know her? I know of her. Her name is Yun 2. She is the leader of the Yunlan sect. What really bothers me is how the hell can a Do Emperor lose to bats? Do? As in Dukai. The complete physical energy of life. Satanta nodded. Naruto did some research on Dukai. Mainly due to him being able to use a small portion of Dukai via chakra. Unlike magic and chakra, there is ranks for Dukai fighters. There are 10 levels per rank and 12 rank, practitioner to god. Magic is more easy to use and learn to fight, but Dukai require complete physical energy and a strong spirit. Unlike chakra, Dukai require a strong soul, so the practitioner won't die from the overwhelming change of the body. As the old saying, a strong body is a strong soul. In the West, Dukai practitioner are feared more than magicians. Sure, a magician can create unimaginable things, but a Do King can easily defeat an army, but a Do Emperor can defeat 2 Do Kings. The great power of theirs were well known and feared. Challenging those that had Dukai practitioners were dangerous in comparison with magicians. Only the best magicians can hold their own against a Do King or Emperor. However, there hasn't been a single Dukai user that was capable of destroying countries in the blink of an eye since the erection of the wall. Magicians were still able to have such power nowadays, but they were only 10 magicians capable of such feats nowadays. I never heard of the Yunlan sect. Surprising Satanta. Really? They're officially the strongest Dukai sect. They're based in the Jaima Empire. Satanta told him. He knew that officially, they're the strongest, but there is always secretive people everywhere. Naruto's eyes widened before tiring. Of course they would be based in the middle of the hot zone. Naruto knew a great deal of the West. Deeper into the country, it was a complete war zone. It's technically where the endless war started thousands of years ago. The place that the sage of the Sixth Path feared and created the wall to keep all those monsters away from his people. The man that preached peace would allow war to go on because he couldn't understand it due to the war started before his own mother birth. It was too terrifying for the half-human half-alien to handle. The Jaima Empire was the second biggest human country, second to Naruto's Camelot, but they had more veteran warriors for humanity. Camelot was able to stand the strongest because they had quality over quantity. Sure, the empire had a lot of strong people their own, but in comparison with someone like Merlin, Ban, himself, or the now deceased Nobunaga. These people could fight entire countries single-handedly, but they never venture out of their own country without any real purpose, unless it's to protect. What are you going to do with her? Satanta asked seriously. This could be the first test as king. As king, Naruto had to put his country first. He needed to get rid of those that will oppose him, so killing Yun will weaken Yunlan sect and in turn let Jaima Empire crumble from constant war without power people fighting for them. It would be one less country to deal with. Or he could force her into his own country. Make her fight for him. He may be a magician, but he only focus on runes and spells that will aid him with the lance. Using some spell to erase her memory could do the trick. Or he could help her. Knowing Naruto, he would help her and help the Gyama Empire to achieve peace through love and understanding. Satanta thought. He'd been with Naruto long enough to know that he will help those he believes that needs it, and in turn the people he help will understand him and follow him. Probably due to his kind heart and charisma. I'm going to let her rest. She's going to be up by tomorrow. Right. The two kick in for the night. In the morning, the two just relax outside of the cave fishing. I will never understand how fishing is fun. Naruto complain. Satanta only laugh him off. It's peaceful and takes great patience. Someone as hyperactive as you will never enjoy the beauty of fishing. He commented. It was one of his favorite pastime. It was then the two heard a splash. It came from the waterfall hiding the cave's entrance. It was Yun Yun and she didn't look happy, but she didn't look angry at the same time. She looked indifferent as she stared at the two. Looky looky. The princess is awake. Hey there sleeping beauty. Naruto said to her as he started to feel a tug on his pole. Oh. Here comes another one. He said excitedly. What the fuck? That's the seventh one. And you hate fishing. Satanta raged. How the hell can he say it's boring, then become very excited when he gets a fish? Hell. How the hell is he getting all the fish? He thought. Not liking Naruto's luck. His luck took away the meaning of fishing in his opinion. Who are you? Yun Yun demanded as he pointed her sword at Naruto's neck. Naruto didn't flinch, but Satanta immediately pulled out Gabolg and was holding it behind her back, ready to pierce her. Now. Let's all put our weapons down. He asked politely, but Yun Yun refused until she gets her answer. Seeing that she wasn't backing down, Naruto unleashed his hold on his power, so everyone in the area can feel his raw power. Yun Yun began to tremble for a moment before recompassing. You're the leader of Yunlan sect. You can't show fear. She thought. Feeling his power, she knew that she won't be able to beat him, but she has her reputation to protect. She lowered her weapon. Then Satanta lowered his, but kept a close eye on her. He swore to serve and protect Naruto, and that is what he would do. Now let's all just relax and enjoy a nice roast fish well fishes. As he gestured to all the fish he and Satanta caught. Before she could object to this. Grumble grumble. She was hungry. Her face lit up like Christmas lights before she started to nod in agreement. The three enjoy the roast fishes. Naruto decided to break the ice. Now. Do you want to tell me why the beautiful Yun Yun fell victim to a bunch of weak bats? Naruto asked. Making her blush at the comment of her beauty. Most men didn't have the courage to call her beautiful like he did in an insulting her strength way. She also blushed as she remembered what happened the night before. What was that? Satanta asked. Can you speak up? Satanta said with a big grin, he knew it was going to be funny. I'm afraid of bats. She screamed out. No longer capable of mumbling it. The sight of bats will knock her out and that's what happened last night. She could have died from the poison or the constant blood sucking if she wasn't saved by the duo. A few moments passed so the two can digest what has happened to her. Ha 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 ha. Both laugh out loud. Rolling on the floor. Holding their guts. Yun Yun was very embarrassed and mad because they now know her weakness and seen her in like this. She rarely acted ladylike, well more girl-like. An embarrassed girl. So she reacted the only way her instinct would tell her how to react. Bam bam. Oh why. Satanta and Naruto cried out in pain from the smack to the head. She only huffed in anger and embarrassment. After a few minutes of rolling on the floor in pain. So what brings you here? Satanta continued to ask. You never gave me your names. You two know me, but I don't know either of you. She pointed out. It seems that she was going to be around these two for a while, so she should at least know their name. Right, my bad. Kuchulin. The child of light? She asked, completely caught off guard. He nodded. She heard of him. The child of light was said to be a powerful lance wielder and a mage. His runes and natural connection with nature made him a powerful warrior. She then turned to Naruto. I, Naruto Pendragon. King of Camelot. The once and future king. Naruto told her. All the tomfoolery was out of his system and all was left was a king. She didn't believe it. She heard the legends like everyone else but passed off Naruto's story as rumors. But news of Camelot change brought his name to her attention. He was something that threatened her home and she was afraid of him because he defeated a man, Nobunaga, that allowed her to live because she was beautiful. She turned to Satanta to seek confirmation. Unfortunately for her, he nodded. Now I asked, what brings you to the magical beast forest? He asked, still using his king tone. She felt that if she lied, he would know and punish her. She unconsciously answered truthfully. There is a magical beast waking up soon. I need to slay it. Its bone and power will make me stronger. Why? Still terrified of the idea to lying to the man in front of her. I need to protect my home. After a minute to think it over he looked at Satanta to send him a message. He nodded and went to get the supplies in the cave. Satanta knew that Naruto could easily take what she was looking for, but it wasn't him to do something as low as that. One last question he asked using his king tone. Then he brought out a gentle smile, offered his hand to her. "Would you allow me to help?" he asked kindly. She was completely stunned. All she could see is his deep blue eyes and the hand he's offering to help her. Helping her home. Helping his enemy. What was his game? She wondered, but couldn't continue that line of thinking. His tone was too genuine to be faked, and that smile just made her happy. Really happy. The end. So how was this part? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this part with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.